I'm learning how to play the ocarina because my clarinet is in the shop and I'm bored. So, I've played Zelda and I've seen a couple videos, so I have a pretty good idea on how to play it. I'm gonna try my best to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and see how I do, I guess. So yeah. See, I have a book right here. Right? And it shows me the fingerings and stuff for it. So, I have a pretty good idea on how to play it, but learning the actual notes is a bit difficult. So here we go, I guess. So there's that. There's a few other songs in here too that aren't Zelda songs. Like they have Auld Lang Syne, Mary Had a Little Lamb. There's Happy New Year, Happy Birthday to You. I'm gonna try playing Happy Birthday because I think I did pretty good on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So let's see. Ew, I messed up. I'm gonna redo the last three measures because I'm just redo the entire thing because I know I messed up. I think I did better on the second try. I think I'm trying my best to go ahead and figure out how to play it. So if you know how to play ocarina and I'm doing something wrong, then correct me, because learning a new instrument is always difficult, especially when you don't have anyone teaching you how to play it. This is a 12-hole ocarina. It's a Zelda one. There's like a little Triforce symbol right here. So yeah. This is probably like my fourth time playing it. And so here's Mary Had a Little Lamb. See, I'm starting off with the easier songs in the end of the book because I've tried playing the Zelda songs and they're like usually a bit more difficult because they have a higher tempo and just higher notes in general, and I've always figured out that the lower notes are easier for me, at least in the very beginning. So, and of course I would say that as a clarinet player, So here's a Mary Had a Little Lamb. Right off the bat, first note I messed up because I forgot to read what the second one was. So, Mary had a little... Yeah. redo that, because you didn't see that. You didn't see me mess up. Totally. There we go. Looking in here. See, and I think I'm holding it correctly because that's how it shows you how to hold it. And, you know, of course, instead of actually watching a video on how to play ocarina, I'm going off of what the book says, right? And, I mean, it has the scales on here, too. This is probably the only ocarina sheet music I've read for this, by the way. Which, I mean, there's Ocarina of Time, Song of Time, Requiem of Spirit, Minutes of Woods, Bolero of Fire, Kakariko Village, Kaka, Kokiri Forest, Song of Healing. They have Midna's Desperate Hour, Clock Town. I really like that one. I just got finished playing, darn it, what's it called? I need a moment to look the game up. There we go. Yeah, I just got done playing Majora's Mask. Took me the first playthrough. I was just like figuring out how to play the game. I got stuck when it asked me to go ahead and find all 5 kids, and next thing I know, the moon is killing me and crashing into the town, and I died. Second playthrough, I played through most of it, and I don't think I've gotten past the wizard, not the wizard, the scientist, or his I'm not stuttering. The wizard tower, or the scientist, or whatever he is. So I'm pretty close to the end. It's like day 2. So, and then when I stopped playing that because I got stuck, I moved on to Ocarina of Time. And so I'm a little past the tree, the Deku Tree part in the very beginning, and I have gotten to Zelda's castle, and then I left there and went to the next village that it wants you to go to, and I think I got stuck there because it was some oh my god, I am not good with words today. It was the graveyard part. There we go. Why was I struggling to find out what graveyard was? So I got stuck in the graveyard part where you play the song, the lullaby, and then it has you go underground to go ahead and complete that dungeon. So in here it also has Saria's song, it has Song of Storms, The Great Sea, the shop theme. I really like that one too. And yeah. So I've tried playing a few of these. Got frustrated and put the ocarina away for the day. So I'm gonna see if I can try to learn Ocarina of Time. It's in 3/4, so seems to be in natural key. So hopefully I can go and figure that out. Already off to a bad start. I'm playing it slower than what the actual tempo is because that's probably the easiest way to figure out how to play a song. Like if you're stuck, you go ahead and slow down the tempo tempo to go ahead and figure out the notes. Awesome. I think I did pretty well. So yeah, like I stated in the beginning of the video, my clarinet's in the shop. Why? Because pretty much everything is wrong with it. I picked it up back in 2022. I went on a trip to Michigan to go ahead and visit my grandparents, and I found it at well, it was in Hocking Hills. Really nice, by the way. They have the campsites there, really beautiful. So it's the scenery. Tons of things to do there. Again, I'm horrible with words today. Normally I'd have... You would expect someone who reads dictionaries for fun to, know what to say, but then I end up forgetting every word in existence when it comes to talking to people. So, that sucks. But yeah, we found it at a little mall somewhere for like $50. I got a key readjustment and some new pads for it, some new corks. And it's been about like 2021. It's 2026 now. So, oh, my mouth is dry. So, it's been about 5 years that I've had the clarinet. I played it all throughout middle school. And this year, I decided to go ahead and, play it one more time throughout the year. My next concert is this month, my last concert, and I think I'm finally putting it away after that. Mainly so I can focus on my future, and because I'm trying to save up for college right now, and I'm looking to finish all my credits as soon as I can so I can graduate high school early. I feel like that'd be a good achievement. So yeah, I'm also looking into colleges. I kind of want to be a social worker. Because I just want to help people, I feel like the sooner I can finish high school and work on that, the sooner I can complete my goal. Right, so the original topic, my clarinet's broken, right? And so the C sharp key, right, so you hold it like this, and the C sharp key would be like, so there's E, D, and C, or E and F, D, and C. And then there'd be a separate key right over here that you'd hold down, and that's for C sharp. That key is broken. So is my left-handed F key on the same side. And who would have guessed I'm missing like 7 screws? Not only that, some of the keys need to be readjusted, and I think I was missing a cork and a couple pads for the keys. So the total, they went ahead and Willis Music called me back like just last week, or earlier this week, I mean, because we're on spring break right now. So Willis Music called me back earlier this week, just a couple days ago, and the total ends up being like $88, which I think is pretty decent. I mean, compared to Word Music, like they charged me over $100 just for a key readjustment. which I get, yeah, fixing instruments is hard and, it takes time and stuff, but I think 100 for a key readjustment is a bit, like, it's on the more expensive side. So 88 for all that Willis is doing to fix my clarinet, I think is really decent. Obviously once I have, so I'm mainly quitting band for this year, so that way I can go ahead and make room for the other classes that I need to complete to get all the credits I need. Because band is in the way, and since it's a full year class and I already have my one full art credit, I feel like I don't really need band. I do need to finish my business credit, so next year I'm taking engineering, which counts as a business class in my school, and I'm taking robotics and pottery for my other two classes. Not only that, but I'm taking I'm taking AP seminar next year, math, science, and I forget what the second, I think it's like world history. And it's basically just the second class for social studies. Our science, I think, is bio. It's man, I forget. I know we take chemistry junior year. So that's pretty fun, I guess. I've never really been too good at science though. So that sucks. I mean, I'm barely passing this year. But I think mainly that quitting band next year, will give me room to finish up the classes that I need to take. And then I also need to take financial literacy my junior year. And then I'll just have to finish the rest of the credits that I need. Which for that, I could probably go ahead and sign up for something to go ahead and finish my classes and, graduate junior year. And if I can't do that, then I'd probably just stay, and then, senior year will be the fun classes, I guess. Because according to my math, if I do all the classes that I need to take, so I already have most of my credits done this year and next year. So according to my math, I should be able to graduate by junior year if I keep up on my classes and get all the electives I need. So yeah. And having band out of the way helps because band is a full year class. So why would I take band when I already have that credit and I could just do something that I need, right? Either way, I'm not quitting music in total. Like I'd still practice my clarinet, I'd still practice my guitar, I would still practice this little thing. I just wouldn't be doing it, kind of full time like I was doing before. I mainly joined band back in 6th grade because I thought it'd be something fun to do, which it was. Throughout middle school, it was fun, it was easy. My throat's dry. It was fun, it was easy. Our teacher wasn't too hard on us, and it was, I sounded pretty good back in 8th grade. Moving into high school, though, our teacher was harder on us. It became less fun. It was less of something that I, did to relieve stress and more of something that brought me stress because there was more pressure to, get an A. In middle school, there wasn't a grade for it. Well, there was, but, it was mainly just our playing checks and little tests that we did every now and then. You would get a full grade if you showed up to a concert, and if you played your playing check pretty good, if you knew your notes, you would get an A. In this class, however, you need to learn all your scales. There's certain levels that are required that I need to get to pass, and it's kind of it feels competitive almost, because I'm here playing for fun, and then there's everybody else in my class who's because I can barely reach past level 1. Because I never really learned how to play my scales, I just learned the notes. I don't really know the note names that are, anything that's off the staff. I don't know the name of it. And I feel like it's just very competitive because your teacher kind of like ranks you like, oh, this girl is in first chair, second chair, and so forth based on how good you are at playing. So that didn't feel too good. Not to mention that everybody else is kind of like, I don't know, I'll just be chatting to someone in band, and whenever the topic of actual instruments gets brought up, or scales, or notes, or the music, or anything, it like turns like super competitive, and they're like, it's really hard to explain. But I do feel like it's a bit unfair in terms of like music and ability to play. So, because like in middle school, it was for fun. Nobody was really judged like, oh, you can't play this note. That's fine. I'll move you to like a different piece and you could try that instead. There was still time to go ahead and change your instrument. There was still time to learn. But now that, I'm in high school, it's different. Like all of a sudden, they don't give you that time to learn. They don't really let you learn because it's just constantly pressuring you to do better without actually teaching you. And then you try to ask someone for help and all you get is judged. Like, oh, you're in high school. Shouldn't you know this already? Weren't you taught that in middle school? No, I wasn't, actually. And then the rest of it is just all like, you try to talk to anyone in there, and they're just like, oh yeah, I can play this better than you. Or I can do this better, or you should be doing it this way instead. Like, there's 3 ways to play, E flat, okay? I do it the weird way, hold the 2 top keys, and then there's the bottom key that would normally be used for B flat. You hold that down. And when the teacher asked us to go ahead and play for a part of our song, where they cycle through and have everyone play their part to go and figure out who's playing it right and who's playing it wrong, I got weird looks from my entire section. And they went ahead and tried telling me that I was playing it wrong when it's the same note. Just because I was playing a different way than them. Like, it was the same note, but different fingering, and they judged me for that. And it's just like the looks that they gave me, There's several reasons why I want to quit band. I could probably keep going on about this all day. But the video is about ocarina, so I feel like I've been talking for a while now. So let's try Happy Birthday. I don't think I played that one yet. See, I'm curious if I can play faster because, I've seen, I've been playing a bit slow so I can watch the notes, so I can learn the notes. Let's try Twinkle Twinkle Little Star again, but I'm going to try to play a bit faster and see how many times I mess up, pretty much. Already struggling. which the key signature is in, or it's in 2/4. So, you know, I feel like this is a pretty easy, pretty, beginner level song. So, let's try and see if I can play it faster. I think the main problem is that my mouth is dry. I've been talking for 25 minutes. Ugh. That's probably the fastest I can play it without like tripping over my notes and stuff. I feel like I have the fingerings for it pretty down, like the actual fingerings covering the holes and stuff. I'm pretty, decent at that. But it's like keeping up with the tempo, which I'm probably very off tempo because I don't have a metronome with me to actually check myself. And I think it's just the double notes, like here. Like right there, it becomes a bit more difficult because then you have to separate those notes or else they're just going to sound like one note. It's kind of like a staccato situation, but I wouldn't call it a staccato because they're not dotted. But in the actual song, you have to separate the notes because you don't want it to sound like one whole note, like this. So, I feel like that's the more difficult part of it, is separating the notes. And especially if you're playing too fast or playing a faster tempo, that's a bit more difficult to separate the notes. So let me try again and show you what I mean with separating the notes and not separating the notes. Well, I messed that up. So even there, I started to trip over the notes a little bit. See? So I feel like that's the more difficult part of it. Which you can see here, double notes. So, I mean, if you have any feedback, if I'm doing something wrong, or if you have any tips on like if you know how to actually play unlike me, and you have any tips on how to play it correctly, that would be very welcomed. I always accept criticism. I think it helps me improve as a person, and yeah, I like picking up small little things like the ocarina to go ahead and just do in my free time. Like my next paycheck, I think I might start. I think I'm gonna start figuring out how to crochet. I feel like that'd be something pretty fun to do that I could do in my free time, and possibly even profit off of maybe. But I just like fun little projects like this that I can learn because, I mean, sitting and learning an instrument or learning how to crochet is better than doom scrolling on my phone. I mean, there's many other things I can do do instead of doom scrolling or playing a game or watching TV or something. Like I could go outside or I could pick up a new hobby. And I try to encourage other people to do the same. So at half an hour, I think I'm gonna end the video right here. See y'all another time.